Terry Fontenot. Terry Fontenot. Terry got the X.
Hello.
Fresh up the banana boat. What's going on, family? It's your boy C-Mo the C Mitchell checking in with another Falcons Bird Bath. And we got breaking news, man. After a crazy finish to the end of week 18, Falcons beat the Saints, and they've stuck it to also the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by keeping them out of the playoffs. Raheem Morris is fired, even though he won his last 3 games in a row. And they also gave Terry Fontenot, the axe. And I can't say that I'm surprised that Raheem Morris was fired, but I am definitely surprised that Terry Fontenot was fired. So I got the homie Doe in the chat. I mean, on the stream with me today. You know what I'm saying? You were at the game today. Crazy atmosphere, right?
This was the atmosphere of the game right here. Prior to they had to bring those things out. Terrified, no, man, but no, seriously, no. Yes, I was at the game. It was boring at first, and then it kind of got good at the end because we like to get a game up, so they tried to make it interesting for the fans.
Right. And we gonna hit you guys with 3 sets of 3 tonight, man. First and foremost, we're gonna kind of talk about some of the potential coaching candidates. I'm gonna definitely get into 3 observations and 3 of our most important immediate needs. But as I was really working on the immediate post game reaction, I was cutting some of that up. This news broke right here, man. Doe, you've got 3 people. You got a few candidates that you saw in the a Bleacher Report article, if I'm not mistaken, right? Klint Kubiak is one name that leads the way in terms of coaching candidates, correct?
Yeah, it's Klint Kubiak. He's currently the OC for the Seattle Seahawks. We got Mike LaFleur. He's currently the OC with the Los Angeles Rams.
Yep, Matt LaFleur's brother.
Yep, Matt LaFleur's brother. Vance Joseph Boo. He's the defensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. And Jeff Hafley, defensive coordinator for Green Bay Packers. We definitely need offense. No more defense coordinators. We got one of those, and hopefully he comes back on the roster.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if whoever comes in, if they're gonna bring in Jeff Ulbrich with them. It's customary for a new coach to hire his own people. They want to cook with their own groceries, as they say. But I would hope that they would definitely bring in. They would try to bring back Jeff Ulbrich. He's been a major part and key catalyst of this defense turning around this year. Shout out to the chat. We got the homie Trent checking in. Say, I think we will find a new GM first. They will decide who they want and are tied to. This will be professional. 2 different professional groups assisting with the search. Yeah, and I really wanted to touch on that. I'm glad you brought that up. I myself would not be surprised. I kind of expect. I don't know how much I expect a major difference in this, because it says that the Falcons are using the ZRG partners to assist with their head coaching search, and Sportsology Group to assist with their GM role search. And it says these searches will happen concurrently according to the team. So, and this is from Josh Kendall with at the Athletic on Twitter. Now, I think that's a very odd combination. We have 2 different groups or firms that are coming in to evaluate and hire for 2 separate positions. There's a lot of rumbling going on that Matt Ryan is going to be in a very high profile position. But I kind of feel like hopefully we'll see him doing something, as Jay Glazer said, maybe something similar to what Chris Spielman does with the Lions, which is basically being the personal assistant to the owner, which could basically translate to him kind of taking over what Rich McKay does a little bit. One could only hope. I really hope that is where we're kind of going with this. Maybe he's taking over that position. Though you kind of joke thinking that he could be the GM. I really hope that he's not our next GM, because what does he know about that? But it's very concerning to me that they are going through this hiring agency instead of even coming on and I guess going with Matt Ryan and asking him what his opinion is on this. And of course, I know he's not necessarily a guru at these things. He's not the most experienced, so I'm kind of curious why we even bring him in at this point in time. But change is good. I was definitely surprised about Terry Fontenot being fired though, but I kind of wonder if it's a lot of the same. I mean, we're looking at everywhere except for the one spot that they should have fired somebody at, which, in my opinion, is Rich McKay. I mean, do you feel like it's as much of the same? We're just kind of, you know, retreading the whole situation. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think first of all, I think Rich McKay's not going anywhere.
Right.
He is a good friend of Arthur Blanks,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and he kind of does multiple positions. If Matt were to come in and he's not the GM, which I believe he's going to be the GM, unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
but if he does not become the GM, he will probably take over that role that Rich McKay currently has with the Falcons, where he oversees the GM and the coaching staff and things like that. But man, it's a wild Sunday, guys. It's a wild one, and it's so wild. I'm wearing this whatever on my head to represent how wild
Yeah,
this
turban,
is.
bro.
Man, I don't know what I got the turban going on, man, and I don't know why I
Turban
put it
poison.
on, but I just wanted to, maybe somebody will talk about it, man,
It's a
because
war out here, man. It's a war
it's,
zone,
it's a
man.
war,
It,
man.
it,
Like
it is wide open right now with the Falcons. And I kind of joked earlier, but
you ready?
this almost feels like you're watching the villain in the movie do everything except for the obvious, and they're mad at everybody in their organization that their plan isn't working. And they
Right.
just keep now they came in and they kicked everything over. They start shooting innocent people in there, and they're blaming everybody except for themselves a little bit. Again, I'm not surprised about the Raheem thing, but I am definitely surprised about getting rid of Terry because Terry had some really good draft picks recently. Uh, this last draft was phenomenal. Bijan Robinson also in earlier drafts. Matthew Bergeron, who we got in the second round. Drake London has been really good for us.
Yes, yes.
Ruka Roro, Zach Harrison, we got him in the third round. Uh, we've had some pretty good drafts under Terry Fontenot, and it feels like they kind of chopped his legs out early on as well too. Because I don't know how
Yeah.
much say so he had in in the coaching hires, and it looks like even now they're gonna have somebody else hire the coach potentially before the GM, and it looks like a bad recipe. Like that hasn't been necessarily working for us over the last two, regimes. It the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting different results, they say. But I had another guy tell me that the real definition of insanity is doing the same thing and thinking that you're doing something different. And I,
No,
I
I
do have to question how much we are doing something different.
man, it's I don't know what they're trying to do. I guess it's a house. They trying to clean house. I don't know. I know everybody's looking like, man, why Zach Robinson name ain't been mentioned? You know what I'm saying? But we all know, like me and you talked about, once you fire the head coach,
You're
that's
done.
pretty much taking his whole staff.
Everybody else is probably gone.
Yeah, he's probably gone. He's out of here. So, no, it's really been crazy. And I see you, Johnny. Yes, definitely an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Absolutely, sir. I
Um,
agree.
these
It
guys
very
been
much so.
walking around in their front office like zombies. You know, they don't know which way is up and down. So I guess here we go. This fun roller coaster ride. It's weird that we have the most fun as a Falcon fan in the off season. I don't want to be a team like that. I'm sick of being that expecting to have the best time in the off season, what to look for. I want to be able to win games, get into these playoffs, and figure out what we got to do to make it to the big game. But definitely, it's going to be it was a head scratcher with Terry. Raheem, I was kind of in the air, and you wonder where these these news clippings come from because I've seen many of them. Timo, me and you talked about them how they state that Raheem's safe, but Terry may go, or Raheem he knows he has another shot at another year, blah blah blah. Even big news companies with like ESPN and things like that, they were talking
Right.
about it. But it's just a huge shock. They didn't even wait till Black Monday, and they got it done on Victory Sunday. That's wild.
That
Victory
that is
4 games
interesting.
in a row. So you
Yeah,
get rid of it, so anything can happen.
I will say that it is encouraging to see that we at least know that this regime, or at least Arthur Blank, is not playing, and he wants to get a head start on this and jump out in front of it early. He wants to be able to look at any early coaching candidates, and I think that Klint Kubiak might probably be the closest thing to a Ben
I like that.
Johnson. in this. Yeah, and I'm not against it because he's the son of a coach, of a coordinator and coach. Kubiak actually has them a Super Bowl if I'm not mistaken, with the Broncos. So that's been huge, man. So shout out to everybody who's just tapped in with us in the chat. If you haven't, hit that like and subscribe button. Point Game Official is a spot where you definitely could tap in with us and get sports broken down for the average fan and simplified while still engaging, those enthusiasts out there. And we are definitely a place to give you non-emotional, objective sports analysis and breakdowns and conversations uh, regularly. Now, one
That's
name
all.
that's been out there as a GM candidate even before this is Ian Cunningham. He's with the Bears. He's an assistant GM with the Bears, and if I'm not mistaken, Ian Cunningham has also been with the Eagles as well too. So that could be a potential uh, hire. They say that Matt Ryan is really good friends with the GM there at the Bears. They actually play college ball together. And if we kind of look back on some of the accolades of Ian Cunningham, he was uh, uh, he was in operations with the Ravens and a personnel assistant going back to 2008 and the area scout back in 2013. With the Eagles, he was a director of college scouting, an assistant director of player personnel, and then he eventually became director of player personnel before he came over with the Bears. And he's been with the Bears from 2022 to now. So,
And they like
not
him. He built the team out there in Chicago, man. So you know,
they've done some interesting things out there in Chicago. I'm not sure how much better he's done than Terry Fontenot in that regard necessarily, because we did see the Bears. They had a really good team before, or they had a lot of pieces that were put together, but until they were able to just get that bona fide head coach, things didn't necessarily come fully to fruition. But they made a nice deal a few years ago where they were able to go ahead and get DJ Moore in here while they still had Darnell Mooney up there, and
mhm.
trying to get some weapons for Justin Fields before they actually wound up going with their current quarterback now, Caleb Williams. So and getting Ben Johnson in there has just kind of worked wonders for them. They added a few other players as well too. So yeah, I can't be mad at some of the moves the Bears have made. They are in the playoffs and they've made it sooner than we have as well too. Uh, Before we move on to the next topic, I want to read something else that Trent was saying. He said Rich McKay is going nowhere. He's involved with everything the Falcons, United, Arthur Blank Foundation, Arthur Blank Sports Exec, etc. Now, there's another one that you said as well too. Okay, he says, I learned a key tip. Sportsology has ties with the soccer team, who Rich McKay by default kind of has influence. It says Rich McKay definitely is friends with Sportsology. Another one he says on another comment, it's 100% wouldn't shock me if Rich McKay presents strategy to Arthur Blank and Blank gives the yes or no, basically saying, I'm starting to see McKay make decisions and Blank trusts his decisions. I think that's definitely been par for the course so far, but I'm hoping that Matt Ryan coming in here now will be a major deviation from that. So, uh,
Yeah, it's gonna be a roller coaster, guys. Strap up because we on the ride. I'm telling you.
I will tell you guys another name that I would like to see as a head coach, or I wouldn't mind, is Brian Flores. I'm not certain if he'll actually get a look or get a nod. He's got that case that happened with the NFL a few years ago. Right now, he's the defensive coordinator for Minnesota. I think the Falcons could definitely use a little bit more discipline with their structure, with their head coaching positions. But I definitely feel as though, again, the writing was on the wall with the way that Raheem was doing things. There was a lot of bad play call management at times, a lot of bad situational football, a lot of fluctuations, ups and downs. Even if you look at this season, uh, going at the end of the season, we have a three-way tie, and essentially it looks like we could have actually won this division if we would have buckled down and just won one more game, or beat just the Panthers. Uh, so again, not shocked to see that. Anything you want to add to that, Doe? And have you seen any other GMs that they've named out before I hop on to the next three
Oh,
observations that I have?
no, I thought Ian Cunningham is a hot topic this off season. Haven't really sought into anymore because I was shot off guard with the fact that the Falcons cut Terry Fontenot. Didn't understand that. I mean, the guy cooked last year in the draft, year before that, but I guess from what I hear, he's had more bust than he's had booms. So I guess they had that in effect. But I think it was just a clearing house. Basically, they would just clean the house.
I think
And
it's business. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just
it
business.
was business. They cleaned house. They had to start with. I mean, because even though if you take the coach, what I didn't like about it though, Terry Fontenot really never had a say in the coaching. You know, it was all Arthur Blanks or AKA his side piece, Rich McKay. But you know, there was really no. I don't think the GM had anything to do with that hiring
I don't
at
either.
all.
I don't either. It's been kind of weird the way they've done some of that hiring. And poor McKay, as somebody called him to me before. Hey, and all you guys out there in the chat watching right now, tune in. Let me know if you guys have any candidates or any people that you've heard of or anybody you like to see the Falcons go with for GM or coaching candidates. Please, no crazy names like no Mike McCarthy. No Mike McCarthy. But real quick, man, I want to kind of give you guys three major key takeaways from the season that I think are positives. And one thing is that we got younger, faster, and we developed young talent, and we developed a hungry culture with some of these guys that we had that could play through adversity. We had guys who were able to get up uh, for some late games in the season. That's going to be two. You had guys who were able to find ways to get themselves motivated when there were seemingly meaningless games, and we got up strong and found reasons to play against two guys. One being a division rival. I'm sorry, two division rivals. We were able to stick it to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and we definitely swept the Saints later in the season. We were able to get up for the Rams, which was a really big game for us, bigger for us than it was for the Rams. But I think that it was huge that as a team and as an organization, we didn't take it on the chin at the end of the season. We were able to finish out those games. Normally, we would have been another joke to be laughed about. Even though we got rid of Raheem Morris, I still think that this helped us out tremendously, winning these last few games to the point of having a team uh, where these guys are going into the offseason and they're not wondering. They don't have to have these morale boosts. There's not a sour taste of losing in their mouth. These guys want to go out there and get it. They want to win. They're hungry, and I think that's a definite sign of that. No matter who the head coach is coming in, there's a lot of talent that they have something to draw from. And the third observation that I really want to point out is that we have built a legit bona fide defense that teams have to respect. They cannot just come in here and just think that you're going to just run the ball on us. You're not going to just come in here and be able to run the score up on us. When you come to Atlanta, you're going to have to contend with that defense. And I think it's going to strike some fear into some of these guys' heart. We already have some depth with our pass rush and a lot of versatility in that front seven. Ruka Roro, of course, but Brandon Dorless and Zach Harrison are two major cogs, along with us having two bookends, edge defenders in Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., who I think, in my humble opinion, is just probably going to be rookie of the year this year. At the end of the day today, he has 10 sacks right now. It's been a while since we've had a 10 sack guy in Atlanta. I think that Jalen Walker is very easily able to get that number as well too. I said that I think in the offseason coming into this season that we would be able to have our top three guys be able to give us close to 30 sacks, more than 25 sacks. And so far we've done that. I mean, you look at it, we got James Pierce Jr. with his 10 sacks, Brandon Dorless with 8.5. Then we've got Jalen Walker with 5.5. Zach Harrison, I think he's somewhere around 4.5 or 5.5. Those guys alone, that's about 30 sacks right there. Then we still have Leonard Floyd potentially coming back next year. We'll see what they're going to do with that. But he's been tremendous for us. I think that I mean, even if you look at it with Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr., both of these guys have forced fumbles. James Pierce Jr. has, I think, 4 batted down or passes deflected this year. Jalen Walker has 2 forced fumbles. James Pierce Jr. has the recovery on one of them. you also have Watts, Xavier Watts. I mean, with about 5 or 6 interceptions this year, it's been a while since we had a rookie and a rookie leading the league. I mean, leading our team in interceptions and a rookie leading our team in sacks. But I think that we're amongst the top teams in terms of sack production and probably turnovers as well too. Xavier Watts is I mean he's sky's the limit for this young man. I mean he's looking like Ed Reed out there right now. I mean I know that's a bold comparison, but we thought Jesse Bates was the ball hawk like last year, but what this kid is done right now, and if we have Jesse Bates coming back, it's only going to get better for those two guys. Um, just in my humble opinion. So those are my three biggest takeaways. This defense is just crazy right now. We have and they can close out games for us. We can really lean on those guys. We have a defense that can erase mistakes. They get turnovers for you and they erase mistakes. What are your biggest takeaways that you've seen on the season, Joe?
The rookies, one being the rookies, um, and I was just looking up some information just to piggyback off of the rookie of the year. So defensive rookie of the year right now,
Mm.
the leader is what's the name, Carson Schwarzenegger with the
Okay.
Cleveland Browns.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
he has an 87.9% chance to win. But guess who's number two? James Pierce Jr. for sure. And then you got Nick Emenwari with the Seattle Seahawks and the dual Carter with the New York Giants. So the rookies have been showing up, man, and it's been a welcoming sign. The fact that you can get Jalen Walker, James Pierce Jr., um, Xavier Watts. Let's not forget about Billy Bowman. You know, he went down, unfortunately. And you got second year guys coming in. You know, Brandon Dorless playing well. So that with the rookies being my top uh, key or top observation for the season. My second one will be the defense. You know, to move right along back to the defense. We're a young team, we're a young defense, and we're putting up numbers to be number two in the league in sacks is huge. And and that to me stood out because I never thought that we'll get at least 50 sacks. I was in the 40s. I won't lie to you. Uh, so I felt like that was another big takeaway for the season. And the third one, man, honestly, the third one to me was the heart. I mean, it's kind of hard, I guess, when you go out and you play sports, you lose because you play to win, right? You're gonna lose games, and that's understood. But for those guys that have had a season like that, they came back with heart. They finished it out strong, regardless of what their record was, and you can't do nothing but appreciate that. So those are my three biggest takeaways from this team. I don't have anything really to say about the offense. It's not together yet. It's not. The offense is not in a situation where we're able to really look at them and say, okay, you guys. Now, I will say this: we do have some ballers on that offensive side of the ball. We got some ballers, but it's a puzzle that hasn't been put together yet. So those are my observations, and I think we could do better next year. We add a couple pieces. Let's get in there.
Absolutely. And shout out to the chat right there. Trent says the biggest takeaway for him is how we started and finished. I don't think it was all just the QB. It took us some time to catch traction. I definitely agree with that. I think that this team persevered and fought through and was able to dig deep and get something in them. One thing I like about this team is it definitely didn't look like it quit on anybody during the season. The guys were not weary. We didn't see guys with the bad body language later in the year. This team still believed, and even before they fired Raheem, the team would say, "Hey, we're behind Raheem." If there were players that would say, "Hey, we're behind Raheem. We believe in him." So these guys are going to support and believe and buy into what was being put out there in front of them. I think that one of the biggest things, and we talked about this during the live stream and the post game reaction, was that Grady was basically saying, "Same old S every year, same old shit every year," and I think that permeated through the team. When you have one of your veterans like that with bad energy and not believing anymore, and it's become stale to him, it's like you got a little brother and sister. They're gonna buy into what he's saying. One bad apple will ruin the bunch, as they say, will spoil the bunch. So I think Grady it was great that we were able to let him move on, and we were able to move on from him because we needed some fresh blood in here. We got some new talent with this younger, fresher, uh, just more athletic front seven, and I think getting him out of there was huge for us. So I think that we're going to retool and gear back up. But I really like the way that we started and finished this year. And that kind of brings me into my next point. You were saying with the offense is something that's not all the way together. We had 4 people in the chat, or 3 more people in the chat, kind of tell us where they thought our most immediate need was. And for me, I said wide receiver, cornerback, and linebacker were the top 3. Out of 4 people who gave up their most immediate need, all 4 people said wide receiver. Now, of course, everybody ranked them differently. 4 people said wide receiver, 3 people said cornerback, 3 people said linebacker, and 2 people said nose tackle. Winston from the eye test said nose tackle, and you said nose tackle as well. You said wide receiver, cornerback, and nose tackle. But I think that being that we had all 4 people basically say that wide receiver was our number one priority, or was a priority, I would say it's our number one priority off of that list. And then I would say from there, cornerback, and then going into with the linebackers, and then of course maybe a little bit more depth on the defensive line. And I wouldn't be upset with them maybe going with a late round offensive tackle or something like that, just to have a little bit more depth there. Now, personally, I would sign a wide receiver, and I think that that's the most immediate need maybe in the offseason if we can go and get a wide receiver in free agency and then draft a cornerback. I'm not sure exactly how this draft is for cornerbacks, but second round is always a spot where you could probably count on some cornerbacks. A lot of first round cornerbacks sometimes are a little bit overhyped, and they're not as they don't come out swinging and doing it quite as good as you would want off top. But when you look at our defense this year, just adding a pass rush. Last year, people thought that Mike Hughes was terrible. They thought that D. Alford was terrible. But when you got a pass rush out there, making it harder and making it less time for these guys to have to cover, that could cover up a multitude of sins. A good pass rush takes care of a lot on the back end of the defense, and it works hand in hand. But you're more likely to help out your passing defense with a good pass rush than to have a great secondary that makes it better, makes it harder for the front seven, or makes it easier for the front seven to get there to the quarterback. It does work hand in hand, don't get me wrong, and it can affect it. But when you got guys out there not able to get to the quarterback, missing tackles like the way that we have had it with Arnold Ebiketie, for certain, it's like day and night. It is a world of difference. I mean, it's like going from an average economy car to a sports car. You got Jalen Walker and James Pierce Jr. I mean, these guys, they get to the quarterback and they put them on the ground. They don't miss a lot of tackles. They're good against the run. They're good against as pass rushers. So I think that we could probably get us a cornerback in the draft, but I go with wide receiver first. And of course, I want to add some linebacker depth because we've had some injuries. You need a guy who could be a little bit of a rotational piece and maybe kind of come in on some situations. Ronnie Harrison did a really good job this year filling in with Ebiketie out. I mean, I'm sorry, when we had Divine Diablo out, but he also filled in and played even when we had Diablo back from his injury. So, of course, he didn't play today, but I think that it would be definitely great to add maybe a couple more young guys at linebacker who could help us out, and also play special teams. I think that's why some of our special teams is hurt a little bit this season. We relied a great deal on tight. We have three of our tight ends are on special teams, and we're relying on them to be coverage guys on the kickoff team. And that's not weird. That's not uncustomary. But I'd like to see a couple more linebackers just be really breakout guys on that special teams unit for us, especially on kickoff coverage and on our punt team coverage. And I think that's why we had a few issues, because previously our special teams was not bad under Arthur Smith. And we have had the same special teams coordinator for like the last 3 or 4 years. If I'm not mistaken, this has been the worst year right here. But typically our special teams have been pretty solid in previous years past. So I would definitely want to add a few more guys who can play more versatilely and play multiple positions out there. Right now, we only have 2 linebackers out there. 100% confident being able to play all 3 downs consistently as a starter on our team. One of those guys is actually getting a little bit older. You know, people were asking, should we sign Kate Nellis? I definitely think we should, but Kate Nellis is coming toward the tail end of his career. I think his contract is definitely up this year, but I think he's like 29, maybe 30 years old. He's going to be losing a step or two. So we definitely have to be looking for guys that we can retool and come in and, groom up to take over his space once he's gone. And that may not come right away, but I think that's definitely necessary. What are your thoughts on any of that?
I mean, you pretty much said it all. Um, you know, yeah, I'm not gonna take that away from you. I'm a little bit more, right now. What I'm looking at it, yeah, like you were saying, we can go find a couple of these guys in the free agency pool. I mean, of course, wide receivers. You got George Pickens coming up, but he's gonna cost a lot of money, so we're not looking at that. Um, you can possibly go get me personally. I'm gonna go ahead and draft a cornerback first. And then I'm gonna also, if I can possibly go get a wide receiver, I'll go get one as well. Whichever one is greater. We don't know what the current, you know, what these guys are looking like now. We just have to wait, kind of get a little bit more information, a little bit more stats, or not stats, but figure out what's going on, who looks what, how they're gonna fall. We don't know any of that yet, but definitely want to go after a cornerback first. I think we just need to shore up that other side. I like what Alfred has done. I think he's been a big improvement on the season, so I can really appreciate that. But like I said, we definitely need to shore up that cornerback for sure. The number two, we definitely need to get a receiver. That's huge. Because your boy ain't it.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney is. Yeah, Darnell
Darnell Mooney
Mooney. Yeah, man,
ain't
and,
it.
and I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking to you earlier about this. Next year, Darnell Mooney is set, if I'm not mistaken, according to Over the Cap, he
Mhm.
is set to make 18 million next year.
Yes,
And
and
if we
we
cut
don't need it.
him, yeah, if we cut him, there'll be an $11 million dead cap, but I think we'll save about 7 or 8 million still, so we won't be in the hole. And
Yep.
that'll be huge. And if Darnell Mooney was doing his job, we wouldn't be talking about needing another wide receiver. It'd be like, hey, draft somebody later. And I wouldn't be against drafting a wide receiver, but I think maybe somewhere in the third round, uh, potentially. Second round receivers don't typically fare very well, but for that reason, I feel like we need. That's why we need another immediate need with the number two receiver. If not, that'd be further down my list, and cornerback would probably be the first place to go. Whoever
Yeah.
our quarterback is going to be, we need to get him another weapon in there.
Yeah.
And I say whoever our quarterback is now because with Terry Fontenot gone and Raheem Morris gone, there's a chance that we're not tied to Michael Penix anymore. Because
Yeah.
those, yeah, I mean, and I know that Arthur Blank had a huge hand in that as well, in getting Michael Penix, but it ain't nobody's safe on the
Yeah.
offense. Me and
Given his injury
injury
issues.
history, yeah,
5 out of the last 8 times he's been a start, or not a starter, but a professional in football, whether it's in college or the NFL, is concerning. Um, it's concerning, and you want to shore up your QB room. You don't stop, get him the keys and say, "Hey, you got it." You know what I mean? I feel like we need to shore up that QB room. We need to go take a look at somebody else. We have to. It hurts. I know. You guys probably. I'm not so. I don't. This is the NFL. It's hard to win in the NFL. We have to understand that. And in order to do so, you gotta have the right pieces. Period. You can't have a pretty car with a donut. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think we should go. I think the next coach is gonna come in, he's gonna take a look at that QB room, possibly, and we haven't really talked about shoring up that offensive line. Now, Caleb McGarry's been out, so we haven't seen what it could be. I think the running game could have been a lot better with Caleb McGarry. He's not that necessarily that good of a pass protector, but I mean, you can kind of throw in different, formations, throw in different looks, kind of help him out. But I mean, definitely, that's something to look at. You know, Wilkerson, I'm not mad at him. He's played decent. He's held up. I thought he was going to do a lot worse than what he has been, but that's not a big factor to me. But also, guys, we definitely need to get a nose tackle. that middle is wet paper towel. Now, I won't lie to you. The last 4 games, I've noticed that the Falcons have improved their run defense. Maybe a scheme. I don't know what that's meant about, but I think we need a big body in the middle. A big body to clog up the lanes, stop that run. That we've been getting gashed. Yeah, in the beginning, everybody was talking about okay, Falcons got a good secondary, but it don't mean anything if you can't stop that run. And that's what we have not been able to do. We need to do that. We need to get off that field. We need this offense to stay on the field, move the ball, get better time of possession. These are small things that we can fix. And guys, I think we can do that with the right personnel in place. We need somebody that's gonna get in that, what. And I think that's how we're gonna improve this next season.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know you said that we have shored up the run toward the end of the season, and I think a lot of that has been because we had Divine Diablo coming back. He
I agree.
Early in the season we were pretty good against the run. When he got hurt, we had a little bit of a drop off. But I like a lot of our guys that we have there on the front line. Laquel London is a guy that we brought in who was a nose tackle who was a lot heavier and he lost weight to play in this Jeff Ulbrich system. It's going to be interesting to see if they keep Jeff Ulbrich on. Typically, new coaches don't like to hire from off of the last regime. I think it would be stupid to not look at Jeff Ulbrich as a potential
Yeah, that'll be
coordinator because he's been so
great.
good. Yeah, but I'm not against bringing in a nose tackle or bringing in another defensive tackle. It's definitely good to have some more depth. And to your point about Wilkinson, I want to give a shout out to the chat again. Trenton actually talked about Wilkinson. He says that he thinks that right tackle is the number one priority.
I agree.
Uh, Too many stops and drives and penalties. He gave up the most sacks and he had a blocked field goal. He says single-handedly probably cost us as much as any other individual. Uh,
Today.
I I kind of disagree that right tackle has to be number one priority because we have Caleb McGarry coming back,
Yeah.
and Storm Norton was our swing tackle.
Was our backup,
So
yeah.
yeah, you got to remember that Wilkinson was a third string tackle. He was a practice squad guy or third string guy that was backing up the swing tackle. So it's not as though that's our number one guy. And I think if we would have had Storm Norton out there most of the season, that offense would have looked a lot different. That Michael Penix would have looked a little bit more comfortable.
Mhm.
We saw how Michael Penix was when he had uh, our complete starting offensive line out there. So I don't disagree with you, Trent, that we should add another offensive tackle. That wouldn't be a bad look necessarily. But it's kind of interesting to see. I mean, I'm very curious to see if this new coaching regime believes in Michael Penix Jr. I don't believe that you could just get rid of him right now because you just invested a first round draft pick in him. You got to see what you got there. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were able to move on from him relatively quickly. But right now, it's going to be really hard to do that. But I think it's going to be really hard to add another offensive tackle as a top priority because we got Caleb McGarry. He's getting upward of 16, $17 million this year.
Yep.
Him and Jake Matthews both have pretty high paid contracts for offensive linemen. So that alone is one of the reasons that I don't think that we can really afford to be going offensive line as
No,
our number
we
one
we don't need to
priority.
move. We don't need to move in hard on the offensive line. Like I said, we were down a man at the beginning of the season. Caleb McGarry is one of the best run blocking tackles in the league to me. He made that thing home, and I appreciate that. But everybody was worried because of his blind side. He's not a great protector, but I think we'll be okay there. We can probably find some backups later on in the free agency or something if we got money to go there. But I do like Catavia Street. Let's talk about him. I,
Kentavious
I do
Street's
like
been
him.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been really good, man. I like to see him more in the rotation. Um, I like him a lot. I think he's done well. I think this season he's had like what should today he's had like 4 tackles in the sack, man. I mean, he's really balled out. He really balled out today, and he did his thing.
Yeah, he
Um,
was really good last year for us
yeah,
as well too.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I thought
yeah,
that. I mean, he outplayed Taquan Graham, and I think that
yeah.
Graham is a guy that we had wound up drafted. I don't think Street. I think Street we signed him from somewhere else, but yeah, he definitely stood out a lot more than Graham did previously. He's been huge ever since he came back from us off of injured reserve from earlier this year. So I
He did
definitely
his
like
thing.
Street. Yeah, I think that he's a great piece that we'll want to keep and hold on to. Trent also says in the chat again, time of possession was down a lot due to the right tackle position. McGarry was the heart thing. Now his injury, McGarry can be upgraded if they put effort into it. Nelson is not it. I just don't think. I mean, McGarry is going to be in year 2 of a restructured deal, so it, we're kind of doing ourselves a disservice if we're not able to get the most out of him for the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, they
Again,
definitely got to get the most out of him.
yeah, I'm not against looking for somewhere else, but we have to really be able to depend on shoring up some other areas, like you said,
Yeah,
quarterback, wide receiver. Again, I wouldn't mind some depth there, but I'd like to get a few more. I'd like to have a second and third receiver, maybe. I wouldn't mind seeing another tight end coming in here to add along with Kyle Pitts. I like our blocking tight end out there in Warner, but I would like to see a guy who could maybe do a little bit more versatility. Um,
that's something to talk about too. Do we move on from Cal Pitts? Now I know you say you don't want to. I don't want to either. I think he's done well. Depends on what quarterback comes in here. I think he does better with quarterbacks who look for that tight end. For some reason, Penix didn't see him a lot, but Penix was great with number 5. That 9 to 5 connection was it. But man, I want to see what's going to go down with that. But let's not forget Casey Washington, man. I'm not saying move him to number 2 or anything like that, but I mean the boy, he was doing okay. He was decent.
yeah.
I think the Falcons need somebody to take the top off the speed.
That's my biggest thing is we
Honest,
need somebody that can take the top off the defense and really stretch the field a lot further. And
stretch
I
the
think
field exactly.
I think we'll get a lot more usage out of Michael Penix's arm. And I mean, Darnell Mooney is a guy who can get downfield, but I mean, Penix can easily outthrow Mooney's speed. I would like to see a couple of burners out there at wide receiver. We got really
I
fast
agree.
on defense. Yeah, let's get a
I
lot
agree.
faster on our offensive side. Let's get us a couple other guys.
I agree.
Yeah, that can
Get
really.
fast on that offense, man. Stop being so stagnant. You think about it in 2017, man. What's my guy name? The slot guy that we had that was balling, Taylor Gabriel. You remember him?
Oh yeah, I
Taylor
remember Taylor
Gabriel get
Gabriel.
out there and run the field, but he made a difference. He made a difference. He will stretch the field. We kind of had similar running backs. I'm not saying your boy was Bijan Robinson or anything, but like
right,
that
right,
one.
right.
But that 1-2 punch was similar. But I mean, when you got a guy that can stretch the field, it's just dangerous.
I agree.
But they're honing in. You got Kyle Pitts. He's really looking like your number 2. Say he playing the number 2 slot receiver. We need him to play the tight end position, right? And then you get 2 guys come in, like you said, and I think we could ball out, man. We just got a lot of talent around this team. There's just a couple of holes we need to fill. And definitely the biggest hole is the way the team is ran. We need an identity.
Right.
And we don't have that here. We had the president, Raheem the Dream Morris, the president of the Atlanta Falcons, because he was the president and he goes in and he says, "Hey guys, we're gonna get it. Who wants a game ball? You want a
Very
game ball?"
Obama,
So
very Obama like.
that dude was very Obama like. He was very Obama like, man. Like we need.
Very diplomacy. I would have
Nah,
liked to see
man.
it a little bit more. I
Yeah.
almost see Kurt
Hey,
Rosen.
KJ Osborne, that's a good one, bro.
Yeah. I
I
was
didn't
gonna
mean
say
to cut
shout
you
out to
off.
the
Yeah,
chat with Trent. Yeah,
shout
so
out
we can
Trent.
use a
Hey,
KJ Osborne.
that would
I was
be
gonna,
a great pickup.
and of course, everybody would be happy to get a Jordan Addison, but that's a guy that I was gonna say at least what his role is. I mean, when you look at that
He's a
team,
baller, man.
yeah, man. Addison, even though you got Justin Jefferson, you can get deep on it. It's just a different level when you got Jordan Addison out there, or how the Lions have Jameson out there, Jameson Williams. He's a guy who can get deep on you in a different way. I think that we need that type of thing if we're going to have Penix out there. And we've heard people say that they think that they need to move on from Penix and his days are numbered. I just don't see how we could be moving on from him this year. I don't know where we're going to get another quarterback at. Of course, we don't know who's out there, who's going to be released. There's still a lot more free agency that's going to come after the NFL playoffs and all of that, and even after figuring out who some of these other coaching candidates are going to be coming up soon. But this is going to be real interesting.
No, yeah. I noticed he said that we had KJ Osborne. We do. I don't think he played though. He didn't play anything at all.
We had KJ Osborne here.
Yeah, we did. He didn't play
Yeah, he definitely did not play it.
because he started in Minnesota, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But when did he? I don't remember.
Sure. I want to read another in the chat. John Moreno says this is a setup for Matt Ryan. I think he will bring in Steve, the Texas Longhorn head coach, who he is familiar with.
Sarcastic.
I would like Kubiak as the head coach. I do not see Steve
Sarkisian. That's his name. Thank you.
Steve Sarkisian. I just don't see it, man. I don't think that Sarkisian.
No, don't bring him. We tried that.
Please don't bring him back. I just don't think he's cut out for the NFL.
No.
Coach. And if I'm Sark, I wouldn't want to come to Atlanta. I wouldn't want to come back to the NFL either. I mean, he's got a beautiful thing going on in Texas.
Yeah, he never played.
Let's hope for Kubiak potentially. And we're not certain that Kubiak is going to be that guy. If he does come in, we're not. We've had a lot of new first time head coaches. I'm kind of curious just to see who.
I like Kubiak's offense.
I do like Kubiak's offense. He's done a lot of really good things with having Sam Darnell out there, and I'm over here looking up at this Ravens game versus
who's winning.
The Steelers. The Ravens just missed the field goal.
Of course, that's what they do.
24-26 Pittsburgh wins, and looks like Baltimore's probably gonna miss the playoffs. So very interesting. Crazy finish to a game right there. Let's see. Also, he says Justin Ross will be out there if we're looking for speed. Definitely, I want to get more speed. He says they signed him early on. Talking about Osborne with Kurt starting, he just never played.
He never played,
and I kind of have to wonder about why is that specifically. But really good options out there are it's just really wide open in terms of where we're going to be at. But there's definitely going to be some good talent available in the off season. Everybody can't get re-signed. It's going to be interesting to see what we do with Tyler Algier as well too. I do believe that we'll probably re-sign Kyle Pitts. I do believe we can see, like I said, Darnell Mooney get the axe. And well, who knows?
What you think the coach is going to do with Alec Pierce? Alec Pierce, he's going to be a free agent next year.
He is. I think the Colts are probably going to let him go. I wouldn't mind seeing him come here.
Man, he will be.
If we can get him, that's a guy that I would really like to see. And I don't think he'll cost that much. He's got pretty good hands. He's a big target. He's tall. Yes. He's got some speed. He gets downfield. Think of Darnell Mooney's speed potentially, but with a little bit more height. About 6'2", 6'3". So that would be a huge key component out there as well too. I think we need a ready-made receiver, and then maybe if we can draft somebody in the third or fourth round as well too. I think we need more than one receiver, but we definitely need us a definite go-to number one receiver. So that's a guy that I hope is available and that we can actually get our hands on. I'm not sure all the talent that's going to be out there. You guys in the chat, let us know.
Rashid Shaheed.
Rashid Shaheed. Well, the
Seahawks.
Seahawks traded for him, so I imagine they're going to try to re-sign him.
They may.
I don't know what they gave up for him, but I'd imagine that they would try to re-sign him for certain.
I don't know about Robert Woods, man. He can't stay healthy.
Yeah, Woods is too. Woods is too old, I think.
Yeah, I'm good with him.
Yeah, I'm okay with him too. I'm good on that. I feel like we tried something similar to Robert Woods before as well too. But yeah, I'm good on Woods. He's a little too old, a little too long in the tooth. I hadn't heard much about.
You ain't heard him in a minute.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything But yeah, man, that's pretty much about all we're gonna cover right now. It's gonna again, we'll tap in again tomorrow's Black Monday. There's gonna be some more coaching firings. I'm fairly certain of. Uh, Again, let us know in the chat any people that you guys think are would be good coaching candidates and good GM candidates. Viable.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
no Mike McCarthy's, no Mike McCarthy's, and I think I also saw Cliff Kingsbury as a name in one of those other articles, and I just please don't let us bring Cliff Kingsbury. I'd hate to see that as well too. That didn't end up very good. Brian Dayball is a name that
No,
well, yeah, no, I didn't. That was a name that was
no.
in what somebody's chat as well too.
Oh,
When they tried to break news about this earlier, but yeah,
no way.
no to him as well too. So,
Please.
Doe, anything you want to touch on before we get up out of here, man?
I do, man. It's not really football related. We're actually about to jump off of here, but we're gonna jump back on to uh our other stream. We're gonna do um if you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if you can put it in the chat.
Venus to Mars with the
Venus
Rogue
tomorrow,
Maven.
right? Yeah. So we're gonna have a little fun there, guys. So a little edgy, we talk about just all, dating and different female and male situations and how things go, man. So if you guys want to jump on that, that'd be cool. You guys can chime in and whatever goes.
Show, man. Yeah, we think we will hop into that pretty soon after I put that in the chat. Venus to Mars is the series, and that's the Rogue Maven on Instagram.
We
So
we come we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it when we get off this chat.
yeah, for sure. So for Point Game Official, I'm C-Mo to T Mitchell, and for my homie Doe over
Doe
here.
Smitty, baby.
Yes, sir, man.
Doe Taliban
Falcons
Smith.
Bird Bath on Point Game Official. And we out, baby.
Peace.
Peace.
Yes, sir.